entire city here. And honestly, it was quite worth it. Would recommend. Alrighty though, let's start showing you how things are done here. So I'm gonna break this down into 5 sections. So we have the heavy oil residue part. We have the part where we're making residual rubber with polymer resin. Another part where we're turning some rubber into plastic for recycling later. And then there's making diluted fuel. And finally, the big kahuna, using fuel and plastic to make recycled rubber at the very end of the system. But with each of these big parts, you can do them in separate locations, which is why we're going to go over each part individually. But anyway though, once you have your 300 crude oil per minute, we can rock and roll here with the first part, making heavy oil residue, where you'll need 10 refineries, and that's kind of it. So the input's very simple. All the crude oil goes in the line, goes into all the machines, and then the machines, with this recipe, are going to make 400 heavy oil residue and 200 polymer resin. Polymer resin, you just want to get out of the way, so you'll combine it all into one 480 line perhaps, and have it go off to another section. And then with the heavy oil residue, you're going to want to have 2 pipes here, and so you'll have 200 heavy oil residue per pipe, because you can't fit the 400 heavy oil residue into one. So you're gonna have to split the 10 into 2 groups of 5, 200 heavy oil residue each, and you're good. Then the next part of the system is making all of the fuel. So this primarily is a packaged fuel type refinery setup, where the goal is to utilize this diluted packaged fuel recipe, where heavy oil residue and packaged water is combined into the diluted fuel. And this recipe is super critical because it turns water into oil effectively. This is why it's so super good. And for this section, you're going to need 14 refineries for each part. So 14 refineries to package the water, 14 refineries
You fucked up.
fuel, and 14 refineries to unpackage the fuel. The empty cartridges, by the way, will just be in a loop, packing water, being unpacked, and just go in a circle. So you will need a stockpile of them, but once they enter the system, you can forget about them.
These 2 sloop
What you
guys
should
came
think
right
about
at
is
me.
the amount of water you need. So with the 14 refineries,
Swam
we
a
need
barrel
60
to
water
'em.
per minute. That's 840 water per
I
minute.
thought I killed them both,
So
but I guess
get
not.
that from somewhere and just plug it on in. Be careful not to fill up the pipes because, you know, they can only handle 300 big units of water per minute. You have to have about 3 pipes worth of water entering here. But once you have that figured out and the cartridges entering as well, that means you'll have 840 packaged